Yeah, I mean, you know, when you think of the players now that we've got Elanga in, and you look at the players that potentially could come our way, you know, Trafford. I mean, I'm still not 100% sure what's going on there. Obviously, we've still not closed the door on Guehi and Scalvini, even though Atalanta are saying, you know, he's going to take a decent wedge for Scalvini to take. There's that other lad, Baleri, whatever his name is.
Balerdi from
Yeah,
Marseille.
Balerdi. Yeah, exactly. And then obviously up front, there's talk now about Wissa, you know, and I certainly wouldn't mind the likes of Wissa coming. Um, Obviously, there's a rumour out there about Ollie Watkins as well now. Again, I
I
think that
cannot see
is
Ollie Watkins
no,
coming here.
neither can I.
No,
I mean, he's not going to come and sit on the bench. He doesn't. You know, he doesn't want to do that.
World Cup, yeah, man. He wants to
He wants to
shine.
show. Yeah, exactly.
Unless he's supremely confident and thinks that I can go there and I can outperform Isaac. And if that's the case, good on him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Burnley apparently are holding out for 40 million.
Yeah, that's the crack with Trafford.
I,
And just
he's not.
go
He's
fish.
not. Yeah, absolutely. He's not worth that.
No.
That's crazy. Kenny's saying that I'm reading 23-year-old from Coventry replaced Longstaff. There were links to that lad, and I can't think of his blooming name now.
This was the kid who shone in the under 21.
The 21s. Yeah.
Who was it again?
I can't think of his name, but yeah, I read that yesterday that they were highly rating this lad. Again, you know, the one thing that concerns me though, you know, where we've been constantly, I suppose, critical, and I don't want that sounds like a harsh word when I say that, but where we've been very critical on the age. We were always classed as the elder statesman, but you know, it seems as if we're going the other way now, doesn't it? It looks like we are going major youth. And obviously, what you've got then, hopefully, is some experience through the spine of the team. So it is going to be an interesting one. I quite liked him. I must admit, when I watched him in the Euros, he does get himself around a bit. But is he better than Longstaff? Only time will tell if we get him, I suppose. Like I said, there's a couple out there. There's a couple out there that I would go and have a serious look at, though. Only because, you know, what they can offer you driving the ball forward. I'd like to see somebody that frees up Tonali a bit more. And we get that with J7, because J7 sometimes will sit unless Eddie wants him to be that target man for Popey on the long kicks. But that's a gamble, as we all know. So I think, you know, if we can get somebody who's a little bit more varied, can sit as the six, can drive the ball forward, can go and play in the eight comfortably. Somebody again, you know, we've hired this new set piece coach, and I think that is another step in the right direction for me. Because the one thing I said, and I believe you said the same, our set plays last season were very, very poor. Didn't seem as though we had, especially if Kieran Trippier, well, even when Kieran come on board, some of his kicks were a bit wayward, if I'm honest. But it doesn't seem as though we had certain set pieces, but it was more the short ball and build-up play from the short ball. We very rarely looked as though we had anybody that was going to take a corner or a direct free kick. Tonali had a go. We'd seen Anthony Gordon. We'd seen multiple people, even Murphy, throw a ball in from a corner type of thing. So I'd like to see this guy come in and do something different with Newcastle and try and achieve decent set plays, because I do think we've been lacking over the last season or two.
And did we not bring somebody in?
Yeah, as I said, we've signed a set piece coach now.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find this bloody Coventry player.
McAtee joined Danny's Man City, but again, he's up for sale. But again, he plays the 10, doesn't he? We do. I like McAtee. I mean, again, you know, he can't be a bad player if Pep throws him on for the last 10, 15 minutes.
This was for. See if I can get that up.
Rodoni.
No. This is. I'm talking about McAtee.
Jack Rodona.
Where does McAtee play?
McAtee, he plays as the 10 slot, doesn't he, for England?
Well, you might have thought so. Let's see if I can...
But I suppose for Man City, he comes and
If you
plays up
look at
top,
his
doesn't
heat
he?
map... Oh, how do I...
You've got your share,
Yeah,
the group
no,
share, yeah?
I just want to get it full screen, and I'm
Oh, right,
struggling
okay.
here on this bloody website. It's
Yeah,
pathetic.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I always just use that and try and
I
highlight.
normally do it beforehand if I'm going to do it and
No worries.
transfer it. I'll keep trying. Don't worry.
So,
Looking at McAtee's heat map, you wouldn't have a clue where he plays
no.
because he's literally covering every blade of grasses this year.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Jack Rodoni is the Coventry player. That's who the lads were talking about in the thing. And like I say, I mean, I do. I think he's a decent player. He seems, and like I say, my mate Richard, who I've just dropped off, is a big Coventry City fan. And I believe he's, he'll give me some good insight into this lad. But by all accounts, we are very much in lines of picking this lad up. Now, talking of midfielders, then just while you try and get that from McAtee, would be a great addition to Carr's circa 20 million. Rog, yeah, I agree. But apparently they went more, something like 30 million, isn't it? They want something like that, 35 million. They're looking for McAtee.
25.
Oh, they want 25 for him.
25, aye.
Ah, right, okay. I don't think that's a bad shout.
I don't think it's untoward at all.
Yeah, exactly. And like you say, what I like about McAtee is he does throw the effort in, and he does cover the ground for you. I think he'd certainly give us a different scope, and that's what I was saying. When Eddie's looking for the player to come in and play this methodical approach, somebody like McAtee sitting in that hole behind a striker, whoever it be. So it stops, and that's the other thing with me. The one thing that I saw with Isak last year, because sometimes we become quite flat in the three in midfield, there's a lot of gaps between the three and Isak. I liked it when either Barnes became narrow and become an inverted. So he could be, the fact for me, the likes of McAtee sitting in that hole, covering the blades of grass that he does. You can have your lads inverted then. We know Barnes likes to come in. McAtee could go on the outside. So you're just changing it up all the time. And these type of players very rarely come available. The unfortunate thing is, like I say, a lot of these players now, as a like of a lot of Man City players, Delap, for an example, want out because they just don't get the game time. There you go. Cool.
2 seconds.
Yeah, you can throw that up on the big screen because we're just going to move on to. There you go. That's like I say.
That's it. That's his heat map for the full season for Man City.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So where does he play?
Yeah, I mean, I know he's played. Like I say, he's played in multiple positions for Man City, but like I say, predominantly he likes to play in that 10. And to be fair, if you think about it, as a 10, that suits what you've put on the screen there, because he'll have to. If your wingers drop back in defence, he's the 10, he's the outlet.
Yeah,
he'll cover left and right wings. Yeah. So that to me shouts 10 all day long. So, like I say, I quite like the lad. It looks like a Tonali heat map, says Geordie Dan. Yeah.
Exactly.
A confused 10, says Roger Cook. But again, you see, this is what I said. When you've got somebody like Pep Guardiola as your coach, he's got a plan. He's always got an out. So a lot of these players, you look at the heat maps, it's like stats don't always show the game. And that's what I quite like with what the lads always say. Sometimes you have to rely on both. You can't just rely on stats, and you can't just rely on your eyes to know what's going on, because we follow the ball. We very rarely look at a player individually and follow what a player's doing when he's not got the ball at his feet.
Did you watch Dan Burn on the High Performance?
I did.
I thought that was fascinating when he was talking about everybody knew where there was moves, there was triggers. And if they went there, then we go there, and somebody's going to be there, and it was just absolutely fascinating to listen to.
Well, you could see that, couldn't you? Like I said, you could see that when Shaw went forward and they all slipped across when against Crystal Palace and Chelsea. You could see that movement, that trigger with Burn going forward and then Shaw going forward, just having that pivot from Botman being the anchor man. So, I think, like I say, Newcastle are in a really good situation when it comes to players that we've got now that we can add that strength to. The unfortunate thing is
the first 11.
It's just age, mate. You're going to get age-related injuries.
Can always be improved, of course it can. But the worry has always been when you've got to make substitutions. The drop in standard is phenomenal, and that's what we need to address. But again, as I say, don't address it by improving the bench. Address it by improving the first 11 so that they then have to drop to the bench.
There is an element
down as opposed to bottom up.
Behind that. Bottom up, exactly. But it gives everybody the opportunity. I mean, I was watching you guys talk yesterday about who starts, Langer or Murphy, and we all know it. Murphy has that loyalty card in his pocket, but as you quite rightly said, it's up to Murphy to lose in the pre-season games, isn't it? He's had a great season last season. He had a half decent season the season before. Stats don't lie at the end of the day, even though, like I say, if you were to look at Murphy, I can understand why everybody wanted an upgrade, because Murphy is a frustrating player.
Don't forget to smash the like button. It helps us a lot to keep growing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, activate all notifications, that way you get notified every time we go live. And don't forget, you can become a member, get exclusive content, access to all of our live shows on demand at the time that you want. And also, of course, giveaways every month, sometimes multiple giveaways a month. So stay tuned for that. Check it out. Help support the channel. It's a small fee. And of course, you help us and grow. If you hate the Mackhams, smash that like button.
To save the bleeding races. When we got the wheel put on, away we went again. But them that had their noses broke, they came back our him. Some went to the dispensary, and some to Dr. Gibbs's, and some to the informer.